Episode 3 is one of my favorite. I remember episode 3 named Dig That Cat is Real Gone. Has really impressed me. It always has. I found it stunning because it was related to cats. It's a funny element, but I have always loved cats. I had cats when I was younger, and what happens in this movie was really inventive to me, giving 9 lives to a man and see what he could do with these 9 lives. I find it interesting. So the plot is basically this: a carnival showman is buried alive for his grand finale. Through flashback, he tells the viewers how he was formerly a homeless man, and after a doctor's experiment, he was transferred a cat's brain, which allowed him to obtain the 9 lives of the cat. And this guy, is played by Joe Pantoliano, who's a great actor and character in this episode. It was directed by Richard Donner, so it's a masterful episode, and the secondary characters are fine too. So, in short, the theme of this episode is clearly death, once again, and the profit that we can make out of death. And I know the formulations are great, always in Tales from the Crypt, and here the play on words is dying for a living, which is the case. This is what the character of Ulrich does. And this man is interesting. He goes from a homeless man to a successful showman, but is not perfect. Alright? We have little pity for him because he's such an asshole in such many ways. And what retains the attention in the episode is the different ways of dying. It's cruel, but we are in the heart of it. And the difference in dying are drowning, hanging, being hung, dying in a car crash, electrocution, pierced by an arrow, stabbed by his girlfriend, and finally buried alive in the final twist. So whole horrible deaths, and common death, and death penalties too, being hung, electrocuted, and I forgot to mention, killed by a gun. So what's great about the structure of the episode, it's from a temporal point of view. The story isn't told in order, unlike episode 2, which is very linear. Episode 3 has many flashbacks till the final twist, and because we first see the character telling the story inside the coffin when he's supposed to be buried alive. This is the beginning. And once again, just like episode 1, The Man Who Was Death, it's an episode where the main character of Ulrich addresses us, breaking this fourth wall. So this episode resembles the first to some extent, and because we have 2 assholes being eventually, punished, if I may say so. But to me the most interesting, now that I understand it differently than the excitement of seeing different deaths, is the question of paying to see people die. This is the most disturbing. It's a macabre entertainment, especially the scene when a father forces his son to kill Ulrich with a bow and an arrow right in the heart, and yet this is what the viewer is curious to see. So all in all, Ulrich loses our respect. He loses our respect at the point where he kills the doctor who gave him his gift of resurrection. He becomes condemned because his priority becomes money over life. And the question is openly asked: how can you live with yourself, especially when you don't value life? And to conclude, the final shot has always kept my attention. I really love it. We can see from a slight low angle a black cat in the foreground and red roses on the ground. In the background you see this big tomb of Ulrich's, and on the right you got the clock, a luminescent clock with this symbol of time passing. And to wrap the atmosphere you got this carnival music, which expresses the tolling of the bell for Ulrich. So it's like a few seconds of slight emotions to sign the death of a bad character, in some ways of a non-perfect character. So this is it. Dig That Cat is Real Gone. A title that is a prolepsis for what's about to happen to Ulrich. That cat is real gone in so many ways. So thanks for watching. See you soon.